Hello and welcome to Microphony, the podcast where we just talk about everything and anything, go off on a few little tangents. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Alex. And what we've got is a 12-sided die, a list of topics. We're going to roll at random and see what we get. That's 11. What facts do you know that you really wish you just didn't?
Right, do you want to start with this or should I?
I think you should start with this.
I'll give you a minute to
give you a
think.
minute to think.
Think of those thoughts you've repressed throughout your life. So, I'd say number one, straight off the bat, scurvy. I was unaware that scurvy is when you have a lack of vitamin C in your diet, and vitamin C is required for collagen, which is a type of material that your body makes to create scar tissue. So if you have a cut and you have that sort of like white raised line or kind of like a pinkish raised line, when it heals, that's your scar. And your scar is made of collagen. The body does not just make collagen and leave it there. It has to continuously renew it. It has to continuously add to it because it breaks down and disappears. If you do not have vitamin C, you are incapable of creating this. If you cannot create this and you have scurvy, every single scar on your body will reopen. And at first I'm like, oh wow, that sounds terrible. But then I think when I learned this, I was drinking and I was a bit emotional and my brain started wandering. And I thought, well, hold on a second, I've had an ingrown toenail removed. So is that toe going to just start bleeding profusely? If you have scurvy, your teeth fall out. If you have anything like that. If anyone has ever had a C-section in their life.
Yeah, I just remember coming down, because I remember this conversation being basically when I woke up. I just walked down into the kitchen.
I wasn't drinking in the morning, I was drunk from the night before.
Yeah.
Just want to make this clear.
Yeah, and I just remember walking in to just see you fretting, panicking, I don't know.
As per usual.
And sort of just in a panicked state, ranting about scurvy and how terrified you were. And honestly, the way you described it is, yeah, it sounds horrifying.
Does your belly button count as a scar? Like zombie apocalypse, I know we've covered zombie apocalypse before, but like we're gonna like zombie apocalypse scenario. If you're not eating enough food that has vitamin C, which is very likely because of the fact that there's not going to be a terrible amount, especially for the start, there's not going to be a terrible amount of like fruits and vegetables around the place. You're going to just kind of be scavenging peanut butter and whatever. What's that stereotypical apocalypse? Twinkies. We don't have them, but we'll find them somewhere.
No, we don't. We don't have
But-
an island.
But they're delicious. I love them. But yeah, so if you don't have vitamin C in your diet, are you just going to, everyone is going to be dying of scurvy. There's not going to be any like Walking Dead, oh, we're walking down the road, we're so badass, we're going to kill so many zombies. No, it's just going to be everyone crying because their teeth are falling out. They swallowed a tooth last night. It's the most calcium they've had in years. Like,
Yeah.
could you imagine every scar, every time you've like cut yourself on something or you've like injured yourself, anyone who's ever had an operation, like I said, a C-section, you're literally just disemboweled at that point. Like, I'm not okay with this. I'm just not okay with this at all. And I know there's other things with scurvy. We did stuff about like, what was it we had to do in history? I don't know why Ireland is so insistent on this, but everyone in Ireland at some point covers Columbus thoroughly, like in depth. Did you guys cover Columbus?
I mean,
in
it's just part of the Age of Exploration chapter in a history text.
Yeah, but like there was a whole age, and we spent about 3 weeks talking about Columbus and a week talking about literally the entire rest of the Age of Exploration.
Columbus was basically a footnote on the America bit. They've done a lot of revising on the curriculum of basically everything in the past few years, so that's probably it. But no, yeah, the textbooks now, they've done a lot of revising and stuff in the past few years. So.
Yeah. No, I know we didn't cover school stuff terribly far apart. Like we're not terribly different in age. I'm what, like 6 years older than you? 7? I don't know. Something around that. Like I'm not like 20 years older. Like it hasn't been
it's
decades. But
6,
even at that.
'cause-
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I haven't had my birthday yet this year.
Yeah.
You have.
7.
So 6.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can't math. Okay, where I can math if I'm given just plain numbers and told, so and so has a watermelon. It weighs this much, and he wants to buy 700 of them and drive across a bridge that can only hold this weight. I can do that, but like not real life maths. But yeah, no, I don't know. I just scurvy just got to me at one point, because around the learning period of the Christopher Columbus and stuff, it was so, oh, what's the word? It was just, we covered scurvy, but we didn't cover scurvy. Like, we covered scurvy of what they experienced, not what, we covered, like, they had wounds from his, tellings of how his sailors were doing and stuff like that. Not in modern day, you will disembowel yourself if you ever have a child that wasn't, like, naturally out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Generally, scurvy. When you hear the word scurvy, you think and you're kind of taught that it's just like, oh, that's the thing that old pirates and explorers would get because they were on ships for months at a time. There's actually a fact. It was like the East India Trading Company or something ended up buying like 300,000 lemons or something, I think, because of scurvy being such a problem. So they just were like, fuck it, give every ship 200 lemons.
And even at that, like, when they're at sea, here you go on a cruise or you go on a ship across, like, you'll make it from just Ireland, for example, to America. Like, you'd make that in like 2 days.
Nowadays,
like easily, and it would be like a chill trip. Like, it took them how long were they at sea? Months.
Literal months.
It was it a year?
The trip from to the New World was like 5 months, I think.
It was nuts, because I know he was like, I think we're lost as shit. Yeah, but and I know it's not like Ireland to America. It was from Portugal, Spain.
It was either Portugal or Spain. One of the two. I know he went to one first and then got rejected, and then he went to the other and accepted. I think it was Portugal.
I was just about to say, I think it's Spain. Where's Portugal? I know where Spain is.
Portugal is the not bit Spain of the big square that is Spain.
Okay, that's fine, thank you. I was there like, hold on, my brain.
Every Portuguese person listening.
He's explaining it simply for me.
Yeah.
I'm dumb. I require simple explanation. So scurvy is my thing, a fact that I learned that I did not want to learn, and I think I have never eaten that many oranges in 1 week and drank that much orange juice in 1 week after I learned about scurvy, because my diet is not a good diet. I tend to eat a lot of convenience foods. So like, hey, this takes 20 minutes in the oven, perfect, I'll put that there, I'll go grab whatever I need from my room or clean like a little bit or find a movie to watch, and then I will eat that thing. I have time to do other food. I made stew the other day. It's the first proper meal I've cooked in easily like 3 months. So I lack in vegetables and fruits, and like I probably do lack in vitamin C. So my solution is just pre-made like juices or multivitamins for adults, because I am terrified of getting scurvy.
Meanwhile, while your diet is collapsing in on itself, your dog has the most varied
My dog has the best diet in comparison to me. Now, obviously, there's probably like some royal pooches in Abu Dhabi or something that have a better diet than her, for definite. But as sure. Irish dogs go, this thick yolk here has got a fairly good diet. She eats better than I do anyway. For definite. I should probably eat better or else I'm going to die and leave you alone.
Yeah.
Such a good girl. Oh, lads. Yeah, so yeah, scurvy. Have you got any random facts you've thought of that you wish you didn't know?
Not that I wish I didn't know, but one that will kind of mess with you a bit, but it is kind of a cool fact that I do like, so it's not really super pertinent to the question, but it's a fact that if you shuffle a deck of cards, it is a statistical certainty that that exact combination of 52 cards has never occurred in the entirety of human history.
What?
Yeah, there were so many permutations, because it's 52 to like the power of 52 and stuff. It's ridiculous.
I suppose.
It is a statistic, like the chances of the chances of
getting that combination.
Of getting the exact same combination of 52 cards is statistically impossible. And it is a certainty that no one has ever shuffled the same deck of cards twice, basically. And yeah, and it's not really a fact you didn't want to know, but it's just kind of one that makes you go like, that's And it has a bit of a sister fact that the number of permutations in shuffling a deck of cards is more. There are more possible ways to stack that 52 card deck than the entire universe has stars.
Jesus Christ.
Which...
It sounds so simple though. Like most people at some point in their life have shuffled a deck or they've played cards.
Yeah.
You making stars out there. You rarer than stars. Or not rarer than stars. Oh.
Yeah. Like,
my words are broken. I'm sorry.
But it's not a fact you wouldn't want to know. It's actually really.
It's just
cool
really
fact
interesting. So, which means it doesn't belong here, and you lose points.
Oh, we don't have points.
So here's another fact.
Microphony, the show where the points don't matter.
Oh my god, I love that show. Yeah. Anyway, I could not think of another fact. Genuinely, I think I'm just tired. It's early, so I looked up some because this was an Ask Reddit a couple of years back.
Really?
And so I'm gonna read out random little facts that I see along here that I think are like iffy, and I want your reaction to them.
I may know a few.
Did you know that Mount Everest is littered with over 200 dead bodies because the cost and obstacles of retrieving them are too great, and so they use them as waypoints? Take a left at Green Boots Guy.
Yeah, that one is... There were a lot of dead bodies.
Oh.
It's,
There's a part called Rainbow Pass, and it's the most difficult part, and it's littered with bodies wearing all different coloured jackets, hence the name.
Good lord.
That is both morbid but fantastic.
Mount Everest is such an interesting topic because the history of Mount Everest is like, the history of exploration and stuff. Because Mount Everest was basically the last great thing for explorers and stuff.
Ocean.
Let's not do that.
We will cover the ocean another day. Land things.
Okay, 70% unexplored. It can stay unexplored. I ain't going down there. I don't want to know what's down there. It can just... Goodbye. I don't want to know.
I like the ocean. He does not. But yeah, so land things. Yeah, no, Mount Everest, because there's not a lot of oxygen up there, and it's steep and it's treacherous, and the weather and all that. Like, we have technology nowadays, and by technology I mean even just like jackets to keep you warm enough up there, and
which is more than
things to make warm food and make sure that your water doesn't just freeze in the bottle, things like that. They wouldn't have had that 100 years ago.
Everest
50 years ago?
Was climbed, I think it was 1947 when
fair fucks to him.
Tenzing Norway, was it that his name? It was Tenzing Nor something, I don't remember fully, and I don't remember this guy's name, and now I feel bad. Damn. But no, yeah. It's kind of sad, I feel, that such a great, thing, that the pinnacle of human exploration and stuff has now become something that any dipshit tourist with money can go.
Yeah. I do kind of wish it was a thing where, like, it just was still unattainable. Because when something is completely, you cannot have this, obviously there's going to be rich people out there and people who have, like, wealth and stuff, and they're going to be like, well, I can have it, and I want to be more special, therefore I'm going to go get it. Okay, fair enough. Like, I've nothing against people with wealth. I've issues with people who hoard wealth for no reason. and have more wealth than they can ever possibly spend in their life. But we will get onto that a different day because I'll get angry otherwise. But I have no problem. Like, if I start a business and I work really hard and I manage to get enough money that I could pay for someone to bring me in a helicopter up the side of Mount Everest and get to see all the sights without having to die, I would, for definite. So I'm not going to say that someone else was wrong for doing it, but I do feel like it kind of cheapens it. I don't know if that's the correct word. That, like, quite a lot of people can now experience that without having to go through the, I'm a fat fuck, like, I'm not getting 100 feet up that mountain. I'm not getting all the way either.
You do require a good amount of physical fitness, but
Exactly.
it's not really dangerous anymore. No, it is still very dangerous, but if you're not, it's only dangerous if you're a dumbass, like with most things.
Yeah, like, if you properly prepare mentally and physically, you should be grand. And if you make sure you have a guide, don't go on your own, please, for the love of God. Hence the dumbass part.
Yeah, that falls under the category of dumb fuck, what are you doing?
Oh, lads. Right, I'm looking for more facts.
The average person walks past 36 murderers in their lifetime. Just like,
Does that go up in Limerick? I think it does.
The average Limerick gentleman.
Yeah. 36 in a day. That's really interesting. Like,
Well,
I wonder which ones were the murderers. Because, like, in your life, it is guaranteed, if you live in any sort of very populated area, you've probably walked past someone who is a murderer, you've walked past someone who is a kidnapper of sorts, you've walked past, because, unfortunately, humans are assholes, and it's just the way it is, realistically. Like, I live in a city at the moment, you live in a town, so I'd say I have probably walked past someone
really have.
who's ill-intended.
We don't really have that many cities, honestly.
No, we have 4 official ones. We have 4 official cities: Dublin, Waterford, Cork, and Limerick. Yeah. Now, there is a Galway city, but, like, the official beginning...
Isn't Galway City just named Galway City?
I think it is, yeah. I don't know if it's actually...
place?
Yeah, I think so. And then we've got Kilkenny as well. But, like, the first ones that, like in the old
official
written things.
categorization of places, we only have 4 cities.
I found a fact. Did you know? I know, but this is the topic. We can talk about cities a different time. Vikings can be a different topic.
Fair enough.
The human brain typically stays alive long enough to realize that the body is dead.
Oh, joy.
During the French Revolution, a guy asked his friend who was about to be executed to keep blinking his eyes for as long as he could after his head was separated from his body. And the severed head kept blinking for about 30 seconds after it was separated from the body.
Imagine you're slated to be executed and a guy walks up. Look. Dude, look. I want to do some crazy science shit. I'm going to chop your head off. Blink like a fucking maniac.
Imagine, though. Imagine you're about to be executed. You're terrified. You're worried. Especially, like, in that time and around that time of, like, in Europe and stuff. There was a lot of religious people and stuff. You're like, have I lived a good enough life? And that sort of stuff. But you're about to be executed and your friend comes up and goes, hey, listen, man. Really need you to blink. Just keep blinking. And you'd be like, what? And you're going to say goodbye, and you're going to be like, take your time, tell God I said hi. No, just keep blinking. Blink for as long as you can. Thanks. Would you be pissed? Would you be terrified? Would you just be like, oh, I hope there's a plan here? Because I'd be like, oh yeah, maybe there's a plan. Maybe he's going to somehow break me out. Maybe there's, something's going to happen. It's going to be great. No, they just want to see how long you're... But now, obviously, maybe it's just muscle contractions after the head is separated. Maybe the brain is not aware of what is going on. You're not aware of what's going on. But you don't know that.
For science.
Actually, I've just thought of another one. The whole thing of Uncanny Valley. So, like, for someone who doesn't know what this is, at some point, right, if you see a lot of horror movies, there's creatures that look very similar to humans, but they're not quite right. They're kind of off. Like, maybe their faces, the expression is not a proper what you'd expect expression from that person, or they're moving in a very jittery way that's unnatural. That like really disturbs people and makes us feel like deeply uncomfortable. And people call it kind of like the uncanny valley thing because of the fact that at some point in our evolution, our brain went, hey, things that look human but not quite right, let's avoid those. Now, I'm sure it could be for illness or disease and stuff, but what if it wasn't? What if it's not?
Yeah, I remember you mentioning this a while ago when you were talking about the Wendy's. For those who aren't aware of what the Wendy's are,
And we don't say its name.
I'm not going to. It's hard to go into detail about something without knowing its name, but I'm just gonna hope that some people already know what it is. Wendy's, Skinnies, a few different names, but their most common thing is that they love to imitate other creatures, and they're not real, hopefully, but the legend goes maybe they are, and that's why the uncanny valley exists, because things that are not quite right, not quite human, why would we avoid those if we didn't have some great threat in our past that looked not quite right and not quite human?
Yep.
And there's a really
they're
cool,
not okay.
It's a lot of oof. There's a really cool chart which basically shows how humans will like something basically according to how much it looks like a human. And the chart goes like it starts out slow, and then the more human something looks, the more like a person it looks. It starts to be something that a person will be more like, oh yeah, it looks like me. That's cool. But then it reaches a point where it just drops down to like negative, which like that's not right. I don't like that, and then continues to drop. And then when it gets back to looking pretty much entirely human, it goes back. It just like jumps back up to yeah, I like this now.
So like cartoons and things where they have like say, oh, what is it oh, my mind went blank. I had a cartoon in mind. I can't remember the name of it. Oh well, like cartoons for kids where it's like Boots from Dora, right? Obviously monkeys don't really look like that, but he can talk. He's on two legs. He wears shoes. It's like, okay, that's kind of human-esque. That's cute. That's something that I'm not afraid of. I'm like, yeah, that's okay. That's fine. Whereas like if you had an actual chimpanzee, picture a real life chimpanzee with no hair, standing there wearing partial clothing, just looking at you, I would not be okay with that. That's too human-esque for my, no, I'm not okay with that. But it gets more disturbing the closer it is. Like, now imagine a chimpanzee with like a human nose and like hair on just its head, like people hair, just standing there. Like I'm not that. No, thank you.
I don't like that.
No, thank you.
That's not cool.
No, we're done with this. We're done with the chimpanzees. How about no?
The uncanny valley has a lot of things in robotics, because people are making a lot of animatronics and stuff. There's a lot of big things happening with that. And so the uncanny valley is a very common thing to just sort of naturally occur, because no matter how hard you try, it's pretty hard to properly imitate, because the materials they need to use to make these robots and animatronics are great for making robots that look like robots, but it's hard to reconstruct a human face with silicone and plastic, and it just looks wrong, which is the whole thing.
Do you know what's the name of that one? There was like a very specific one that was done in the last. No, COVID has ruined my timeline of things. It was either a month ago or about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That one where it was like she had like human reactions. It was a female face. It was an AI of some sort, and like she was just really unsettling. 1 second, I'm gonna Google her so I can figure out what it was.
I think.
But she was like,
is that the one that they made like an Ask Google about or something?
She was on like talk shows and stuff.
Yeah. I know the one you're talking about. I don't remember the name, because basically they had an AI
and then they linked the AI up to a robotic head because why not? I guess.
Oh, how do I look this up? AI robot face.
Yeah, I have seen that. I remember that mostly because of that one meme template where it's like
Shock.
her looking sort of shocked and disgusted, which
Yes.
is pretty funny.
I found her, but I don't know what her name is.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Sophia.
Sophia,
the creepy humanoid robot. She is not okay. I love how if you look up, right? I'm on my phone right now and I looked up AI robot face, and I couldn't find it, so I put unsettling after it. And one of the first things I found underneath is, what is Uncanny Valley?
Yeah, see, exactly. It's a big part of it.
That's so interesting.
Also, all of those image results look like the Terminator.
Yeah. Sorry, we scrolled past some robots that were meant to be
look
humanesque,
like
and they
the
just
Terminator.
that's fantastic.
Well, not the Arnie Terminator, but like the robo endoskeleton.
Or like the endoskeletons of Five Nights at Freddy's.
A bit, I guess. Yeah.
The newest ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I found the curve you were talking about.
Yeah, see? It starts out at just a flat 0 until it goes up and up until it goes to a negative value.
It's roughly so industrial robot. Everyone's like, okay, that's an industrial robot, whatever. A toy robot, everyone's like, oh yeah, no, I'd trust that. That's pretty good. It keeps going up, and then suddenly it plummets. And then around the time of a prosthetic hand, it goes back up. And then there's certain puppets, and then there's an actual healthy, real human person. It goes all the way up, and it's like, yes, I trust that. That is very interesting.
Yeah. One thing, however, is that that's only if you're trying to make robots that look like humans. Some robot manufacturers and stuff don't care. Have you... Boston Dynamics, really cool company. They do not care what their robots look like. They make whatever spindly, metallic abominations they can for the sake of progress.
Why?
And it is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Their Spot is the name. It's the robot dog. He's a really cool robot dog.
Oh, I've seen the robot dogs.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Oh, they're really... Yeah, they like... A guy kicked him, and he, like, stood up, and I was like,
Yeah,
you bastard!
That's just the thing.
I connected to this robot dog. I liked him.
Here's the thing, though. It's the test. It's the test you do. You kick them to see if they stay up. Because they have to do balance and stuff. It's an important part. They can navigate obstacles and stuff. And they look... It ain't a real dog, I'll tell you that much.
Unsettling.
No, they actually don't look super unsettling because they're definitely not trying. They're mimicking the general shape of a dog, but not because they want to, but just because 4 legs is efficient.
Oh, lads.
So yeah. So while some things are firmly in the uncanny valley, luckily we have companies like Boston Dynamics who are fighting back and making whatever abominations that are different kind of unsettling. I don't know, is this really a good thing?
I'm sorry, but I've just found another fact.
Yeah, sure.
Did you know that there are no laws against cannibalism in 49 out of the 50 states that make up the US of A? The only state outlawing cannibalism is Idaho.
Yay, Idaho?
Yeah, I suppose, but why did they feel the need to outlaw it if no one else has? How many cannibals live in Idaho and they're like, listen, guys, you gotta stop. This enough of it.
It's
Enough.
like that thing that every law has a story behind it.
Like when you go into a chemist and it's like, do not try on the condoms. And it's like, who did? Why? No. Please.
Have you seen a sign like that before?
I've seen many pictures of the signs in the chemists and I'm like, oh no.
Why?
There was one in an Irish chemist, but I don't remember where it was. I do not remember. It was somewhere in Dublin.
Who the hell?
Oh, there you go. It's another fact you wish you didn't know.
It must have just been that there's... God lord. It must have just been that there just haven't been that many cannibals in America. And Idaho was the only place where they got caught. And were like, all right, you're going to prison. Oh no.
On what
We're going to
charge?
charge you with
drunk and disorderly.
It's in here somewhere. It's gotta be. Fuck.
Yeah.
Just a big book with all the laws, and like, it's gotta be in here somewhere.
There was a thing recently, and again, I do believe it was the USA, but I do not remember where in the USA it was. There was a woman who tried to sell her daughter or her granddaughter for $2,000 and a car. And she was going to be arrested, but they realized there's actually no law against selling children.
Isn't it not human trafficking?
It's not human trafficking. You have not... I don't know what the definition of human trafficking is exactly, but that's kind of like... You're moving humans from one place to another. You're like stealing them and giving them away, isn't it? Selling your child used to be completely fine. That's just the way it was. It is your child. You made it. It's yours.
That's definitely
That
not
used to
how
be the
that
rule.
Works.
But they realized that apparently they just never... Everyone just assumed, yeah, okay, this is bad now. Let's stop. But they never did a law against it. So they had to make a law. One sec. I'm going to Google it so I can get where it is. I remember I read it and I was like, what? It was so strange.
Like, surely somebody had to have thought of that. Like, was nobody like, I bet it just happened like a few hundred years ago where somebody was like, hey, we don't have any laws about selling your child. What kind of absolute cold-hearted monster would do something like that? There's no point spending time on that. We've got other bigger issues. Like, no one would ever do that. Then fast forward 150 years. Oh no, someone is doing that.
Yeah. I'm very concerned about how many results I'm getting here. I literally just googled woman sells child for car, trying to find it. And I have so many results within the last 2 years of people trading children and selling children for cars and things. What? All of them in America? Why, guys? Maybe it's because the law didn't exist, so they were like, yeah.
Good lord.
It's like that law. Remember, there was a thing where there was no thing in the U.S. post system saying that you couldn't send a child through the mail. And these people wanted to send their daughter to be with her grandparents one weekend, and so they just put a stamp on her and dropped her off at the post office, and she was delivered to the grandparents because that's how it worked. And they were like, yeah, this is convenient, and the post office had to go, listen, we're not doing that anymore. This is not allowed.
I can't believe they did it the first time.
I think it's hilarious. I suppose they had no choice. The postman opens up his van and there's just a kid sitting there like, hello. You're like, okay, right, I'm going to leave you somewhere with someone who's responsible for you. But
the
why?
only person who's responsible is the name on this stamp.
Yeah. Or did they write the name on her forehead or something and stick a stamp beside it? Because like it was a child. It was like a 4-year-old or 6-year-old or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Like it was a kid. Aside from those non-kid kids. You know. Those uncanny valley children.
Those uncanny children. A guy once mailed an entire building through the U.S. Postal Service once.
How?
He mailed bricks. He deconstructed the building into a load of bricks, and then he mailed the bricks. He just got these boxes of bricks, and he just mailed them across the whole country. And he mailed a whole lot of them, like at once. Shortly after him mailing a building across the country, the U.S. Postal Service instituted a weight limit on their packages.
Wow. That's fantastic. That is fantastic.
And back to cannibalism for a second. And back to the actual topic.
Back to cannibalism. Yes.
Yeah,
Continue.
back to the actual topic is that hamsters, ruthlessly cannibalistic. They will kill and eat each other.
The amount of people that are like, oh, I have a hamster. I love hamsters. I'm going to get him a friend. And I'm like, please don't. Just don't. Leave him on his own. Give him enrichment. Give him little tunnels to run through and lots of bedding to dig in. Give him little snacks hidden throughout his cage. Don't give him a friend because he's going to eat his friend.
Or the friend will eat him.
Or they'll eat each other. Both of them will die. That's called gleeking. I accidentally gleeked.
That is a horrific word, and that's a word I didn't want to know. That sounds terrible.
For those who did not just see me, gleeking is when one of your saliva glands overcompensates and it like shoots saliva out of your mouth like one of those snakes that shoots venom out of its mouth, one of those spitting cobras. Yeah, I was just talking and just
That is
it's beautiful. But not much.
definitely did not. You know,
I'm sorry.
You don't know that's in the spirit. I definitely didn't want to know that.
There we go. You are welcome. My phone is now covered in saliva.
And your fish.
My
Cannibalism.
fish. My damn fish! I had a fish, and his name was Om Nom, and he was a loach, and he stuck to the edge of the tank and, like, cleaned everything. And my other fucking... I didn't know that he couldn't be with the goldfish, and the goldfish ate him. So Om Nom was Om Nommed, and I was very upset. I was pissed off.
I didn't... Yeah, goldfish kind of eat things, too. Like, a lot of... Animals are pretty damn ruthless. Like, they will just kill and eat each other.
Like, why?
Like, you know, you think people are gonna be like, oh, you'd think the fish would be, the fish, the hamsters, whatever, will be like, oh, that's another one of my species. They're a friend. No, hamsters see that and like, target lock.
Delicious. Protein! Oh, lads.
God damn. Like...
Oh, God. I'm sorry, I just found a rant by someone who hates koalas?
What the...
Someone made a comment and said koalas eat their mom's shit. It kind of ruins the cute factor. At which point this person goes, "Sigh, here we go again." And I'm just gonna read it. Koalas are fucking... Oh, sorry, yes. Koalas are fucking horrible animals. They have one of the smallest brain-to-body ratios of any mammal. Additionally, their brains are smooth. A brain is folded to increase the surface area for neurons. If you present a koala with leaves plucked from a branch laid on a flat surface, the koala will not recognize it as food. They are too thick to adapt to their feeding behavior to cope with any sort of change. In a room full of potential food, they can likely starve to death. This is not the token of an animal that is winning at life. Speaking of stupidity in food, one of the likely reasons for their primitive brains is the fact that additionally to being poisonous eucalyptus leaves have almost no nutritional value, and are the only thing they eat. They can't afford the extra energy to think. They sleep more than 80% of their fucking lives. When they're awake, all they do is eat shit and occasionally scream like fucking Satan. But because the eucalyptus leaves hold such little nutritional value, koalas have to ferment the leaves in their guts for days on end. Unlike their brains, they have the largest hind gut-to-body ratio of any mammal. Many herbivorous animals have adaptations to cope with harsh plant life taking its toll on their teeth. Rodents, for example, have teeth that never stop growing. Some animals have only teeth on their lower jaw, grinding plant matter on bony plates on top of their mouths. Others have enlarged molars that distribute the wear and tear and break down plant matter more efficiently. Yes.
This isn't even halfway done.
No,
Who
it is
the
not.
hell is
This man is not okay with koalas.
I don't think we need to hear the rest of it. Good lord, that's not even halfway finished.
I'm going to summarize. Koalas are dumb. Their teeth erode down to nothing, and then they starve to death. They raise their joys on milk. When the joy needs to transition from lovely milk to poisonous eucalyptus leaves, it does not have the necessary gut flora to digest the leaves, so it has to eat the mother's shit to get gut flora. They carry chlamydia. In some areas, infection rate is 80% or higher.
Jesus.
This is
this person? It's like you with brachycephalic. Is that what it's...
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have an issue with brachycephalic breeds of dogs.
It's a type of dog. It's the ones with all the smushed faces and the weird faces, basically, yeah.
Yeah, anything that has like a squished face, like a French bulldog, and any sort of bulldog, really. Boston Terriers. I can't think of much else.
Pugs.
Certain mastiffs,
Pugs.
fucking pugs.
Really?
Like I do not blame the animal. I wouldn't see a pug and be like, ew, that's disgusting. Or if someone was like, hey, I've got a rescue dog, it's a pug, isn't he cute? I'd be like, yes, he's cute, right? I'd just, it's fine. But I just do not think that there's any reason why these breeds of dogs should be allowed to live. When French bulldogs, for example, cannot reproduce naturally. They need AI. If nature is telling you, listen, you can't do this, just stop. just cease. Yeah. Just leave it. Let them die out. Let them just keep the pets you have. Love them, cherish them. They die of old age. Excellent. It is gone. They don't need their breathing issues. They don't need their operations to open their little noses up. Just let them die out if they're going to be dying out. Just let them. They're cute, sure, but other dogs are also cute. Just move on.
Yeah.
It sounds harsh, but Jesus Christ.
And hey, we are sort of on topic. Ruining dogs.
Ruining dogs. Oh my god.
Ruining
wolves.
Ruining wolves. No, yeah. No, dogs are ruined wolves.
Yes. Dogs are the product of human ignorance. In some breeds, we got lucky. They're great. For example, Border Collies, very smart, very sleek, very, very well made animals.
Yes. Sleek and efficient.
She is not a pure... He's judging my dog. She is not a pure collie. She is a collie lab. The lab is thick. The collie is not. The lab is very food orientated. The collie is maybe also very food orientated. She likes food. But we've got some wonderful animals. Wonderful dogs. I just don't think that we should concentrate on the ones that have severe breathing issues, because we've deliberately bred the ones with the worst breathing issues together to make the flattest face. It's just not ethical in my mind. Oh, lads.
Well, so, do you have anything else to add?
I'm trying to think. No, a lot of the comments here have just turned to people... aside from Mr. Koala Hater. Rabies.
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 Oh, rabies.
Rabies. You've seen what rabies does? Have you seen what rabies does to a person?
Rabies? No, I've never seen what rabies does in a person.
I've seen video footage of a person who had rabies, and it was terrifying because you lose muscle control, you get an absolutely terrifying fear of water to the point you can't drink. You will die of dehydration. Like, it's so... Oh, what is it exactly? Hold on. I had like a lovely little list. Not a lovely list, it was a horrible list. But like, I had a list explaining what exactly the symptoms of rabies are. And it is not okay. It's just such an unsettling thing. I think it's especially unsettling to Irish people because Ireland doesn't have rabies. There are no rabies in Ireland. We just don't have it. It's not here. We are one of the few countries that rabies does not exist here.
We have... Ireland has... It's where... Sorry. We have very good, control, I suppose, of animals and what gets done with animals and stuff, to a point.
In what regard? In relation to what, sorry? Are we talking importing, exporting them? No. No. We have been rabies-free by the fucking luck of the leprechauns themselves. Oh. We have such lax control of animals coming in now. If I want a tiger, I can have a tiger.
Yeah, in Ireland we have no official laws about ownership, import, export of exotic animals.
No.
International laws still apply, but we don't have any of our own.
What international? Yeah, so if you have an endangered animal and it's on the CITES list, so the list of endangered animals throughout the world, certain animals, for example, like African grey parrots, they need a CITES cert to prove that you didn't just go into the wild and steal it. So it'll just say, yes, this is a registered animal that is belonging to a person and is domesticated, and you have permission to sell and trade this animal. Grand. In Ireland, if it is a CITES species, you have to have a CITES cert. However, that's it. If I want a venomous snake, I am allowed to keep a venomous snake. There's no permits for animals. The only animal that we have that you need a license for is you need a dog license. And that's not because of the fact that you need to be I've got 3,000 pit bulls in my backyard and mastiffs and a Caucasian shepherd in my front room. No, you just need a license because the government is we just want our €20 a year because it's like the TV license, but it's for dogs. So you need a license for your Chihuahua. But if you want an alligator, you're fine. The TV license is just
if you don't pay it, the TV license man comes and takes your firstborn child.
Yep.
It's what happens.
Some people deliberately don't pay their TV license if things are getting tough so they can get rid of a child or two. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, lads. Rabies is transmitted through the saliva of animals, less commonly through contact with human saliva. It has an extremely wide host range. Lovely. It's been found in mammalian species, birds, reptiles, insects. The main burden of the disease is reported in Asia and Africa, but some cases have been reported also in Europe in the past 10 years, especially in returning travellers.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's just so... There we go, signs and symptoms. Here we go.
This hasn't been very fun. This hasn't been a very fun episode
Oh,
so far.
it's not,
It's been interesting, but I gotta say, I probably could have done without the whole haha dog give rabies, die of dehydration. I mean, I guess that's the point. Things you didn't want to know.
Right, I'm just going to list off this little paragraph, right? And then we will move on to either something else or finish up. I don't know what time it is. The first symptoms of rabies may be very similar to those of the flu, including general weakness or discomfort, fever or headache. These symptoms last for a few days. There may also be discomfort or a prickling or itching sensation at the site of a bite. Progression within days to symptoms of cerebral dysfunction, anxiety, confusion and agitation. And as the disease progresses, the person may experience delirium, abnormal behavior, hallucinations and insomnia. Rabies may also be inactive in its host's body and become active after a long period of time. So in other words, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
So yeah, are you good?
I
Is
think
that
so,
it?
yeah, no, I think that's it. I can't come up with anything else, and I'm glad I can't come up with anything else.
Yeah, again,
So,
I don't
yeah.
think we should ruin more things, because this is getting very sad.
Did you know that microscopically there are lots of tiny mites that live underneath the flakes of your skin? And they just kind of like run around the place and do their thing. They especially like to live in your eyelashes.
I did know that, but I could have done without the reminder.
But now the listeners know.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think that's it for this episode. We are going to wrap this up now. So thank you very much for listening. If you have any ideas for topics for the future, feel free to leave them in the comments below and we'll consider them. And yeah, no, that's it for today. So thanks very much for listening. Bye.
Bye.